Do you like to laugh, geek out on music, and learn all about that band or artist who had that one song back in the day, but then seemed to fall off the face of the earth? If so, you need to subscribe to One Hit Thunder. Together with an array of interesting and hilarious guests, we do a weekly dive into one-hit wonders like Eiffel 65's Blue, Krayshawn's Gucci Gucci, EMF's Unbelievable, Delamitri's Roll to Me, Los Del Rio's Macarena, Musical Youth's Pass the Dutchie, and even Patrick Swayze's She's Like the Wind. So are you subscribed to One Hit Thunder or what? As Desiree would say, you gotta be. And as K7 would encourage, you gotta come baby come and join in on the fun of the One Hit Thunder podcast.
Come, baby, come, baby, baby, come, come. Come, baby, come, baby, baby, come.
91 Donkey Lane is a magical apartment complex that contains immense power but lacks intelligent inhabitants.
What is happening?
I'm getting texts.
Why are we getting a lot of texts?
People found out what we did.
Oh, dividing Mike Myers into an infinite amount of tiny Mike Myers?
Listen to 91 Donkey Lane for free on Spotify or your favorite podcasting app. More at 91donkeylane.com. See you there, you donkeys.
At Maximum Mediocrity, people say things like,
I don't dress like this on the regular basis. This isn't my, pooping uniform. This is not what I wear.
and they also say things like,
The nurses are usually either angels of mercy or whores.
every episode is a new experience where you get to know people that aren't famous but should be.
Why did my facing Floyd Mayweather in the woods?
My co-host Morgan and I track down the people you didn't know you needed to hear from.
It's like hot sex in a mug.
We are the Maximum Mediocrity Podcast, and we are on all major podcasting platforms. We'll be waiting for you.
Well, let's party each and every year on Christmas Eve, where the fun and cocktail shrimp don't seem to end. Clark and Ralphie taking turns on the TV screen, laughing, singing, yelling with all of our friends. Well, it's Christmas, and everybody's gonna spread the holiday cheer. 'Cause it's Christmas. Oh, it's the best time of the year. Let's do fake reindeer with
Hey, Dylan.
Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color?
Turquoise.
Oh, mine's purple. You're wearing a purple shirt today. I'm very
Mine
happy.
was purple. Mine was purple most of my life.
Why?
but-
What made the sudden change?
Well, here's the thing. I think mine was purple just because Donatello was my favorite turtle.
Oh, dude, Donatello is my favorite turtle as well. It's the staff.
This is why we're
right?
best friends.
I love
Yeah.
the fucking staff. Plus, he was a nerd. It was great.
It was more the nerd thing. I was like, I
Yeah.
can relate to this guy way more. That I want to be a Michelangelo, but I've accepted, even at the age
But
of
I'm
6, that
definitely
I
the
am
one
Donatello
that's getting picked on by the rest of the crew for being a nerd.
for fucking machines.
Yeah.
So that's what the lyric is, right? Donatello fucks machines.
Yes.
So this is your pick. You decided we were going to revisit the movies that made us franchise.
Yes.
And I'm curious what your opinion of the movies that made us franchise even is.
Did we watch one of these before?
I don't remember if we
I don't
have
think
or
we did.
not.
Okay, because you had
Okay.
said revisit, so I was like, I don't think we've done.
Well,
'cause
revisit because I was under the impression we've watched these before. Have you never seen the movies that made us before this?
I have never sat down and
okay.
watched these.
Okay.
This was one of those things that, like, I had a lot of friends who were watching these, but I held off because, and I'll go back if you disagree, I felt like a lot of the information that I was going to be given was probably information that I already knew about the movies I was interested in. Because we're an anomaly, dude. Like the communities we're involved in, we already do know a lot of the stuff about the movies that we like.
Yeah.
So I almost was like, I would be better off. Funny you brought up this last night. I would be better off finding a YouTube video and watching somebody do a deep dive. And my personal opinion is kind of still that, because I felt like the interviews that they brought in were... So, in my opinion, when you do a documentary, the narration is supposed to complement the interviews. Where I felt like the interviews were edited in a way to complement the narration. And I didn't like that. It was very much like the narrator kept popping in to feed the interviewer the next line, basically. Yeah. Where it was like, it really wasn't all copacetic. It was actually... Yeah, it was a huge problem on set. And I'm like, this is annoying as shit.
Yeah. So I've watched every episode of Movies That Made Us.
Are they all like this?
They're all like this. Oof. And it's been like, and it's a bummer because like I wrote down, and I actually think this is improvement on the voiceover. I feel like they had a different voiceover in the first one first season that I hated even more.
It wasn't her voice. It was like the emphasis she was putting on certain words. It felt like I told Teddy it felt like I was watching a 45-minute long Watch Mojo video.
Well, that's what it feels like, right? And it's like no one asked for this. Like nobody requested a Watch Mojo breakdown of this. And like I guess I didn't write this note down, but I was like, I just wish that they would let us have the information and that be the end of it.
Yep.
And like the way that it's like overly produced about the information is like actually a pain in the ass to watch.
Yeah.
And you're just constantly sitting there being like, "What? But why are you presenting me this information like this?
And
like,
why
are you doing this to me?"
Like at the rapid speed that they would introduce somebody and then they would be gone. I could not tell you. I mean, even this morning, I was sitting here going, I can't remember this person's name. I could not tell you anyone that they interviewed yesterday, except I will tell you this. It was no one I was really interested in hearing from.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of the stars are not here.
Well, and that's the one thing I wrote. I said that I hate that Netflix flat out would not try to get any of the big names for these documentaries. Like, I don't want it to be overrun with Will Smith.
Will Ferrell.
Well, that's what I mean. Sorry, I don't want it to be
now,
all...
I would watch Will Smith talk about Elf.
Yeah, sorry. No, but I don't want it to be like... I don't want it to be all Will Ferrell or Jon Favreau or Zooey Deschanel, but like I'd love to hear some of their perspectives to what happened when they were making this movie.
Exactly. I like the documentaries that have everyone.
Yeah.
I do want to hear from the second assistant executive producer of bullshit.
Yeah.
But I do also want to hear from the person that I came for, right?
Yeah.
Like most documentaries, you're hooking me with the meat and then like, oh, that's cool. Well, this producer also worked on this and stuff like that. Like that's like the cool secondary information. And you can't tell me that they couldn't get him. I mean, they have a full-length documentary on Netflix with
starring
Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
So
you can't tell me. You also can't tell me that like Will Ferrell doesn't want to talk about this movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
This is like the movie that changed his life.
Yeah.
There should be no easier layup on this planet than Will Ferrell wanting to talk specifically about doing this movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking bonkers, to be honest. Like, it's just the way that this whole thing is produced is, like, so annoying, so frustrating. I also have a real issue with they present a piece of information and then they, like, dismiss it so quickly. And this has, like... admittedly, this has like nothing to do with nothing that I'm about to complain about.
No, dude, go for it.
But like they introduce what I think is a really interesting piece of information was that at one point they wanted Chris Farley to star in this movie.
Yeah, and then we got nothing else about it.
We got no other information about it.
It was just them saying it would be a different movie.
Yeah, and like like obviously it would be, but I also and I've talked about this with a couple different people. I think that that's really a bummer that we didn't get that movie.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
think that one of the saddest things about Chris Farley's whole career is that there's clearly a very good actor
Yeah.
in Chris Farley. And this, similarly to what it did with Will Ferrell, would have helped open the door for him to do more dramatic roles or do something a little bit different or like off the beaten path for him. And like,
And honestly, it's the saddest part is this happened twice
yeah,
because he was going to be Shrek.
yeah.
And it's wild because that was very different as well. Like, yes, it's still leaning towards the comedy, but it's a different form of comedy. Like it's way different. God, it's so sad. So sad.
It is. It's a real bummer.
That would have been cool to hear a little bit more. Like to hear the differences in the script. Like what would what would that movie have looked like?
Yeah.
It is also cool to see. I think it really puts into perspective the indie scene that Jon Favreau was coming out of at the time, because like it's hard to look back now because of how much cool shit he has had his hand in creating. But it really was like, yeah, he had his roles in Rudy and whatnot and like shown up on screen. But in terms of behind the scenes, he was still an indie guy.
Yep.
So it was really cool to see that for them to touch on that. But again, I felt like, and I can't even say mile wide, inch deep, because I feel like it wasn't very mile wide either.
No.
Do you like to laugh, geek out on music, and learn all about that band or artist who had that one song back in the day, but then seemed to fall off the face of the earth? If so, you need to subscribe to One Hit Thunder. Together with an array of interesting and hilarious guests, we do a weekly dive into one-hit wonders like Eiffel 65's Blue, Krayshawn's Gucci Gucci, EMF's Unbelievable, Delamitri's Roll to Me, Los Del Rio's Macarena, Musical Youth's Pass the Dutchie, and even Patrick Swayze's She's Like the Wind. So are you subscribed to One Hit Thunder or what? As Desiree would say, you gotta be. And as K7 would encourage, you gotta come baby come and join in on the fun of the One Hit Thunder podcast.
Come, baby, come, baby, baby, come, come. Come, baby, come, baby, baby, come.
91 Donkey Lane is a magical apartment complex that contains immense power but lacks intelligent inhabitants.
What is happening?
I'm getting texts.
Why are we getting a lot of texts?
People found out what we did.
Oh, dividing Mike Myers into an infinite amount of tiny Mike Myers?
Listen to 91 Donkey Lane for free on Spotify or your favorite podcasting app. More at 91donkeylane.com. See you there, you donkeys.
At Maximum Mediocrity, people say things like,
I don't dress like this on the regular basis. This isn't my, pooping uniform. This is not what I wear.
and they also say things like,
The nurses are usually either angels of mercy or whores.
every episode is a new experience where you get to know people that aren't famous but should be.
Why did my facing Floyd Mayweather in the woods?
My co-host Morgan and I track down the people you didn't know you needed to hear from.
It's like hot sex in a mug.
We are the Maximum Mediocrity Podcast, and we are on all major podcasting platforms. We'll be waiting for you.
Looking for a new seasonal anime? Want to know what new anime music is out there? Looking to add a new waifu or husbando to the list? Or are you just looking for a modern or classic anime to add to your plan to watch list? My name is Nick and I run the Waifus and Weeaboos podcast. And you can check me out on Geekscape.net.
I think that the other big issue with this particular documentary series, like it does capture some interesting things, right?
Yeah.
It's very easy. Watching this was a nice reminder of like, oh man, it was such a green, like looking at, when you look at the movie now, you think like, obviously this is a hit. Look at how stacked it was.
Yeah.
But like, it really is a movie of nobodies at the time that it's being
James
made.
Caan.
Except for James Caan, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's wild to like look at it through that lens of being like, oh, this was like not a sure thing.
Yeah, no.
Like there was just as much of a chance that like this movie was an absolute bomb that no one thinks about as it being a hit. And like, you know, like I like that this at least highlighted that a little bit more, but my God, like it's a very annoying package. I do think that the Home Alone one, I remember watching the Home Alone one and walking away being like, man, that is like a lot of interesting stories.
Yeah.
Like I think that the Home Alone one, I'm not against us doing another one of these to do the Home Alone one, because I really truly do think like, fuck, they did a great job. You know, there are a lot of times where people will be watching Home Alone and me being the like Mr. wants to share fun facts is like, hey, did you know the basement scene was shot in a pool? Like, you know, like it's just like random shit like that where it's like, oh, there are a lot of really fucking interesting stories that came from the making of Home Alone. Maybe just aren't like fully present in this one.
I mean, I think the best example of that is the fact that we've kind of sat here and not really talked about some of the stories that have gone on in this movie. Like, I think the main one that we got that stands out, at least in my mind, is the fact that most of this was shot in an abandoned asylum, apparently.
Yeah. That's wild.
That is wild. But it's so funny because they would say, yeah, this scene was shot there and it was the orphanage. And I'm like, that tracks. That looks like an abandoned asylum in there. But it was some of the scenes like the house or the home, like the apartment scenes were shot in the abandoned asylum, and then the office building was shot in the abandoned asylum because I it's kind of like you were saying, the cast is so stacked from a modern day lens that I was like, well, obviously they just shot this entire thing in an office building in New York City. I mean, when that just really was not the case.
Yeah, that feels like the thing that makes the most sense that they would have done, and it's like, oh, that's actually not at all how that happened.
Yeah,
you know? Like,
exactly.
No, I agree. I wish I liked this more. I really do. But I'm glad. Listen, I'm glad that we were able to talk about it. I do feel like this is like going to be a short episode for us. This is the length I thought Christmas Shoes was going to be last week.
Yeah, no, dude, Christmas Shoes, we went on forever. Where there wasn't a lot here. There's not a lot of substance. There's not much to talk about. If you know the history of the people in this movie, we didn't get much new.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that I didn't realize is I don't think I realized that the Kyoto brothers were the ones that put the stop motion stuff in.
Yeah, did the Rankin Bass.
Like, I did not know that. That was cool.
Yeah.
But honestly, when that popped up, I just looked at Teddy and was like, hey, the Kyoto brothers. I was like, hey, the Kyoto brothers. I've met them, and they worked on they did Killer Clowns.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I was watching that.
Yeah. Hey, I met them. They were nice enough.
Yeah, like they're fine. Like the cool guys. There's not much to say about this. It very much is it was a BuzzFeed article of a watch.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a perfect
nothing
way.
About it is going to stick with me, except for some reason that picture of Will Ferrell with his stunt double. Like, that's like the main thing that's sticking out in my head.
Yeah, there was
not a lot of substance. I immediately forgot it.
Yeah,
the minute it was over. Besides the fact there was a producer on there whose feet, like, he just kept showing his feet to the camera. It was really weird. He was wearing shorts. He was real laid back. A lot of energy. Like, I don't want to call him out for anything else, but he had a lot of energy and a lot of movement.
It sounds
everyone
Dylan,
else
like
seemed...
you think. It sounds like you think he may have been on something.
No, I'm sure he was fine. But put your shoes on, man. You're getting interviewed. Be professional.
Yeah, cover your damn feet, man. You're in a
Cover
documentary,
your feet, bro. Put your shoes on. Put your shoes on. You got no shoes.
But like I said, I would be open for us revisiting this to do the Home Alone one.
I think I feel bad because I love Elf, but I don't know if besides the fact that it was unknowns that it all came together, I don't know if there was enough of a story here.
There wasn't.
And that's
That's
why I'm
you
like,
don't. That's why you don't think that there was because spoiler alert, there's not.
It's like, hey, we got one of the guys from SNL, the guy that we didn't want originally, and the movie came out and it was awesome. It made a lot of money.
The movie came out and people loved it. The end.
So I feel like I'll take your advice. I think that the Home Alone 1 sounds like there's a lot more substance behind it.
There
so
is.
I'm looking forward to checking that one out. Not going to write off the series yet. It's also not something I'm going to watch. Like, I'm not. The Halloween episode started playing right after this one, and I was like, I'm okay.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, like,
I have other ways to figure out about the Halloween movies.
Did you watch The Toys That Made Us?
I think I only watched the Star Wars episode.
So, like, the other piece of this is also, like, not to act like The Toys That Made Us doesn't have all of, if not most of, the same problems.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a lot more of, like, it was way more interesting information than this.
Very much so.
It felt so. This was branded, like, now on Netflix it's listed as season 3. Prior, it was a separate show called The Movies That Made Us Holidays Edition.
Okay.
And it was like they did 2 horror movies and 2 Christmas movies.
Yeah.
And I truly feel like Elf being the last one was because they were just like, oh no, we don't really have any we're out of interesting movies to talk about.
Yeah.
Like so, like, it feels like you said.
To which I say, bullshit. Like, are you kidding me? As two people who, I feel like, while we do have shorter episodes like this one, we're constantly finding interesting things to talk about movies.
We dedicated 25 minutes to the song Christmas Shoes.
Yeah, you're telling me you couldn't make a more interesting, like, documentary about Elf?
Yeah. That's the part that's crazy.
I think it was
to me.
very flashy. It's very flashy. I just have to keep going back to, it's a Watch Mojo video. It's a BuzzFeed article.
Yes.
It's fine. I wasn't offended by it. I'm not mad that I watched it. I'm never going to watch it again. Yeah. While I feel like I've watched plenty of YouTube videos that are trying to accomplish the same goal, that are longer than 45 minutes, that I will end up watching again, like that I'll put on. I just feel like in a world where you can get this kind of content anywhere, you can probably find people doing it in a more genuine way. And it isn't edited like a kid who forgot to take their Ritalin.
Yeah. That is a perfect way to describe it, though, because that is the exact energy it is bringing to the table.
Just let some of these people talk. Like, they would say, they weren't even saying full sentences, and they would get cut off by the narrator. It was really wild. It was a very fast-paced watch, and I don't remember much of it.
Yeah. No, that is fair in every way, shape, or form. Well, Dylan,
we did, yeah.
We did it.
We
We did the
complained our
thing.
way to almost 20 minutes, bro.
Yeah, we did it. We stretched, and we got there.
We did it. We made it. I hope everybody is enjoying the warmer weather. I hope it's
You're
not
just trying to get us to 20 minutes at this point.
I hope it's not too hot out there.
All right,
to
knock
our
it off.
Christmas listeners.
Merry
it's
Christmas,
almost Leon
Dylan.
Day.
Merry
We're almost
Christmas,
halfway
Dylan.
there. Happy, merry, happy.
Now we won't stop till the big ball drops on New Year's. Happy Holly, have a great Holly, have a merry happy holiday.
Do you like to laugh, geek out on music, and learn all about that band or artist who had that one song back in the day, but then seemed to fall off the face of the earth? If so, you need to subscribe to One Hit Thunder. Together with an array of interesting and hilarious guests, we do a weekly dive into one-hit wonders like Eiffel 65's Blue, Krayshawn's Gucci Gucci, EMF's Unbelievable, Delamitri's Roll to Me, Los Del Rio's Macarena, Musical Youth's Pass to Dutchie, and even Patrick Swayze's She's Like the Wind. So are you subscribed to One Hit Thunder or what? As Desiree would say, you gotta be. And as K7 would encourage, you gotta come baby come and join in on the fun of the One Hit Thunder podcast.
Come, baby, come, baby, baby, come, come. Come, baby, come, baby, baby, come.
91 Donkey Lane is a magical apartment complex that contains immense power but lacks intelligent inhabitants.
What is happening?
I'm getting texts.
Why are we getting a lot of texts?
People found out what we did.
Oh, dividing Mike Myers into an infinite amount of tiny Mike Myers?
Listen to 91 Donkey Lane for free on Spotify or your favorite podcasting app. More at 91donkeylane.com. See you there, you donkeys.
At Maximum Mediocrity, people say things like,
I don't dress like this on the regular basis. This isn't my, pooping uniform. This is not what I wear.
and they also say things like,
The nurses are usually either angels of mercy or whores.
every episode is a new experience where you get to know people that aren't famous but should be.
Why did my facing Floyd Mayweather in the woods?
My co-host Morgan and I track down the people you didn't know you needed to hear from.
It's like hot sex in a mug.
We are the Maximum Mediocrity Podcast, and we are on all major podcasting platforms. We'll be waiting for you.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.